Hi, you're back. Good. Glad to have you around. You all know what you're in for. Today, we're gonna see if we can beat Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal only using a single Pidgey in battle. This particular challenge was requested many times by Infernal Burns. Have a challenge you'd like me to tackle? Suggest it in the comments. Want to force my hand and make me do it? Become a Patreon backer and I'll have no choice. But going back to the Mon of the day, Pidgey stats are meh. Its move pool sucks, it can't hit very hard, and its defense is even worse. Its only redeeming factor is its speed stat, which is alright for a first stage Pokemon. But since we're most likely going to be over level for the entirety of this challenge, I'm not sure how much lacking speed will come into play. For those of you that are new here, I'll quickly run down the rules. And for those of you that are longtime viewers, here's hoping that you'll hear me this time. We're not going to be using any items in battle. Held items are okay, however. Any HM users need to progress through the game will be knocked out in our party, and we're going to use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to change our starter from a level 5 Chikorita to a level 5 Pidgey. As a bonus challenge, we're going to see if we can beat this game without having to use every solo runner's favorite move, Double Team. The challenge is over once we climbed Mount Silver and kicked Red off of it, proving that having the high ground means nothing. With that out of the way, let's begin the challenge proper. The start of the game is easy enough. We're sent on a fetch quest to retrieve the mystery egg from Mr. Pokemon. We grab the egg, as well as the Pokédex from Professor Oak. Leaving Mr. Pokemon's place, Professor Elm is in full panic mode and calls to inform us that someone stole one of his Pokemon. By chance, we run into said thief in Cherry Grove, and thanks to all the wild Pokemon we knocked out en route to Mr. Pokemon's place, we are more than a match for said thief, knocking out the stolen Cyndaquil in a couple of attacks. After reporting back to the police in New Barktown, we can begin our journey proper. We knock out some jabronis to beef up Ira the Pidgey. Once we beat them all, along with all the monks in Sprout Tower, we can confidently step into the Violet City Gym to face Falconer. To date, Falconer is the weakest gym leader in terms of levels of all time. His Pidgey goes down after a couple of attacks, and his Pidgeotto, who I'm sure he'd taken to the Lake of Rage at some point, doesn't fare much better. Going down after 3 attacks, we now have the first badge in the TM for Mudslap. A TM we're definitely gonna need. I decided to teach Ira Mudslap right away, so we'll have an easier time against people who have rock-type Pokemon like Geodude. I could pass on these trainers I wanted to, but I want to gain as much EXP as possible for some of the later, more difficult battles. After helping Kurt defeat a few Team Rocket grunts, we can then challenge the Azalea Town gym leader, Bugsy. With a combination for a higher level and typing, we easily sweep through this entire team, grabbing badge number 2. Once we've gotten our second badge, we have to face our rival / thief before we can continue on our journey. He leads with Ghastly. We land a Mudslap that does some decent damage and lowers Ghastly's accuracy. Hypnos misses us and we finish it off with one more attack. His Zubat goes down to a crit quick attack, and now we're up against his final Pokemon, Quilava. Ira's Mudslap lands, barely doing any damage. Quilava answers back with Ember, which sadly burns us. Our attack isn't that great to begin with, and now it's been cut even further thanks to the burn. At this point, we need to get a crit to have any chance of beating our rival. We even have to consume our berry just to stay alive. But we do get the crit when it actually matters this time, critting it and taking out Quilava before we go down to burn damage. With our rival pushed aside yet again, we can head for Goldenrod to face Whitney. Her Clefairy goes down to a single wing attack. Miltank, however, tanks wing attack super well and goes for rollout. A second wing attack gets into the red as rollout misses us. One more wing attack finishes off Miltank, and we grab badge number 3. After Whitney finishes her temper tantrum. It's okay. Let it all out. With badge 3 eventually in our hands, we head for Eckertique for round 3 against our rival. Mudslap hits Haunter, but instead of attacking us, it goes for Curse. A solo runner's nightmare. Curse does a quarter damage to your Pokemon's full HP every turn, assuming we don't knock out their Pokemon. So, if we do knock out their Pokemon, we won't take any damage. Otherwise, we only have 4 turns to win this. Ira is able to take out both our rivals Zubat and Magnemite in one attack. Quilava, however, lives the first attack, making us take that curse damage. Thankfully, instead of attacking us, it goes for Smokescreen. Another wing attack finishes off Quilava. Before facing the gym leader Morty, I interrupt these Kimono girls' dance routine to battle them all, which raises my level a bit and gets me the HM for Surf, which we'll need for later. Now it's time for Morty. Wing attack one-shots his Ghastly and his first Haunter. Gengar lives the attack and puts us to sleep with Hypnosis. With no other choice, we stay in as Gengar starts eating our dreams, recovering some health in the process. We wake up on our next turn, thankfully, and now that we're awake, there are no dreams to be eaten today. 2 more attacks finishes off Gengar, and Morty's second Haunter falls to a single wing attack, getting us badge 4. Crossing the pond, we find ourselves in Cinnlewood for our next challenge against Chuck. In every solo run I've done so far, Chuck's been kind of a pushover, and here is no different. Wing attack sweeps his team, and we grab badge 5. His wife waiting outside gives us the HM for Fly, the strongest flying type move we can learn in this game. After that, she pokes fun of her husband's chubby belly. We fly back to Olivine City to give Jasmine the medicine, and then immediately challenge her to a battle. Her first Magnemite just manages to take a Mud Slap and answers back with Thunderbolt, nearly taking us out. Her Magnemite goes down after her second Mud Slap. Her second Magnemite also just takes a Mud Slap, answers back with Thunderbolt, that misses, and goes down to a second Mud Slap. Steelix tanks Mud Slap like a champ, even crits. All I can hope for is that Iron Tail keeps missing me so I can slowly wither it down. A few turns later, Iron Tail eventually hits us and knocks us out. Clearly outmatched. I think it's best we put Jasmine on hold for now. First, we're gonna fly back to Goldenrod. Since it's Sunday, we can grab the TM for return, the strongest move we're gonna have for the remainder of this run. If our Pokemon's happiness is maxed out, it has a base power of 102, plus it's staff for Ira. Not only that, we'll get an item later on to push the power of friendship even further beyond. But we'll get to that later. Once we fed Ira all the protein we can afford, it's off to Mahogany. Before we can challenge the gym leader, we gotta drive Team Rocket out of town. It's just a bunch of grunts that go down super easy, but at least our level is raised a bit now. With Team Rocket down, it's time to face Morty. Seal goes down to a single return, and it's the exact same story with Dewgong. Last out is Piloswine. Piloswine just manages to live return. Morty then spends his next turn trying to heal up Piloswine, but it's all in vain. Piloswine eventually goes down to a quick attack return Wombo combo, giving us badge number 6. With little choice, we head back to Olivine to face Jasmine. This time, both her Magnemites go down in one shot. Steelix, however, is still a monster tank, boasting the second highest defense stat in the game, only behind Shuckle. It takes a few attempts, but I eventually get enough lucky misses and crits to take out Steelix and grab badge 7. Now we gotta drive Team Rocket out of Goldenrod. After beating up a few grunts, we come across our rival. We completely sweep our rival to the side yet again and continue on with our mission. Once we finish beating up the remaining Rocket grunts, we can then claim our reward, the Pink Bow, a held item that increases the power of normal type attacks by 10%. With return boosted to the max, we're off to Blackthorn to face Claire. All 3 of her Dragonairs go down to a single return. Kingdra just manages to take the attack and uses Surf on us, doing about half our health. Much like Price, Claire wastes her next few turns trying to heal Kingdra. And yet again, it is all in vain. Kingdra 2 falls to the Wombo combo of quick attack and return, which is great because we definitely would not have lived another Surf. Now, we have all 8 Johto badges. It is time to barge into the Indigo Plateau. But first, our rival wants to have one more go at us. Sneasel goes down to a single return. Magneton just takes a mud slap and then uses Thunder Wave to paralyze us. We take it out on our next attack. Things go from bad to worse as Golbat confuses us, and then Haunter puts a curse on us. And then it confuses us yet again. It's right down to the wire, but we just managed to edge out a victory with just a shred of HP. With our rival defeated yet again, and armed with the power of friendship and our lucky pink bow, we march in to face our first obstacle of the Elite Four, Will. And this is just a warm-up. All of his Pokemon go down to one shot, 4 of them faint to a single return, and his Exeggutor goes down to a single fly. Koga isn't that much harder. The only thing we have to worry about is Ariado's spammy double team if Fly misses, and may also baton pass his double team to Fortress. None of our attacks do a lot of damage to Fortress, and I can't use Fly because it knows Protect. And if its health starts to get too low, it'll just blow up on us. But once we get past Fortress, the battle is essentially over. Bruno is our next opponent. Again, I can't use Fly on Hitmontop because it knows Protect. Thankfully, Return one-shots it. His Onix, however, is a bit of a problem. It will always set up Sandstorm, and can hurt us pretty bad with Rock Slide. It takes 3 attacks, but it does eventually go down. The rest of Bruno's Pokemon we can one-shot with Fly. We just gotta hope we don't get KO from Sandstorm chip damage, and Fly doesn't miss. Rounding off the Elite Four is Karen. Here, we gotta worry about Umbreon's Sand Attack and Gengar's Curse. If we miss too many attacks, we'll lose to curse damage. Of course, we can one-shot Gengar with Fly, assuming it doesn't miss. If we can, we've gone through the biggest obstacle in this battle, and we can finish off the rest of our team in one shot with either Fly or Return. Now it's time to face the Dragon Master Lance. Gyarados goes down to a single return. Next, he'll send out his Dragonite, and here we have a couple of issues. One, his Dragonite knows Thunder Wave. If that hits, we'll be slower than his entire team, and we can't take a lot of hits given our pitiful defense stat. Second, one of them knows Blizzard, and the other knows Thunder, and he will always send one of those out after his Gyarados has been defeated. So, we gotta beat 2 bulky dragons. On the plus side, as I'm sure you can tell, we're not at level 100 yet. This takes a few attempts, but we eventually get to a point where Return can one-shot both his Dragonites. And then there's Aerodactyl, who resists all of our attacks and is immune to Mud Slap. Thankfully, unlike most other rock types, Aerodactyl isn't known for his bulk. We're faster, so as long as Rock Slide doesn't crit us, we can take it out with 2 returns. Charizard's up. It falls to a single return that ends up critting. Honestly, I don't think that crit mattered too much, as his last Pokemon, his strongest Dragonite, too falls to a single return, and this one doesn't crit. But that's it. Thanks to the magical power of friendship and our lucky pink bow, we have become the champion of Johto. Hold on, Ira. You can't evolve. Our job isn't quite done yet. We still have one more champion to take down. But first, we've got to collect all 8 Kanto badges. As per usual, I won't cover the Kanto gym battles as they're all super easy, and all I'll have to say about them is, I sweep their entire team with Return. I did make a couple of pit stops at Celadon to grab the leftovers and the TM for Curse, just in case. There's only one trainer in this region that's stronger than Lance, and that's Blue. So let's talk about him a bit. Pidgey goes down to a single return. But then he sends the biggest worry I had about this battle, Rhydon. This is why I kept a hold of Mud Slap. I tried Return first, knowing that it'll do more damage, despite resisting it. It looks to be a 3-hit KO, while Rock Slide from Rhydon looks to be a 2-hit KO for us. I decided to go for broke and use Return again, hoping for a crit. It doesn't, and Rhydon is still standing. Rock Slide completely and utterly misses us, giving us the opening we need to finish it off with one more return. Alakazam, Gyarados, and Arcanine go down to a single return, while his Executor just lives the attack and starts charging its solar beam. Too little, too late, I'm afraid, as one more attack takes it out. Now it's time for the main event. We're gonna show Red the real superpower of friendship. I decided not to grind to level 100 for this battle, because I want to see if we can do this without having to resort to that. Red's Pikachu falls to a single return. Blastoise comes out and takes return fairly well, but instead of attacking us with a move like, I don't know, Blizzard, it instead goes for Rain Dance. Maybe all of Red's time up in the mountains started to give him brain damage. Anyway, Blastoise falls to a second return, and Espeon falls to 1. Snorlax is out next. Return takes Snorlax about half health, while it answers back with Amnesia. Come on, Red. I don't need a handicap. Another return takes it out. Charizard is out next, and it too just managed to take a return. But I guess Red decided that playtime is over, as it hits back with Flamethrower, doing massive damage, also burning us in the process. Charizard does go down to another attack. And last out is Venusaur. I decided to go for Fly, as Venusaur charges the Solar Beam. Thanks to our cut attack due to the burn, Fly does very little, while Solar Beam takes us out. In hindsight, I probably should have gone with Return instead. But that's okay, because on our next attempt, we managed to beat Charizard without getting burnt, and Venusaur falls to a couple of returns while it was charging its laser. And there we have it. We have officially beaten Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, only using a single Pidgey in battle. And we didn't even need to grind to level 100. And you know what, Ira? You evolve, man. You deserve it. This challenge was definitely a lot easier than I thought it would be going into this. I thought its limited move pool and lack of coverage would have played more of a role in this challenge, but it really wasn't that bad. Goes to show the magic of over-leveling, I suppose. I mean, the battle took the most attempts was Jasmine, but hey, that's the thing with these challenges. You never know what to expect. But next time, I want to try something a little harder. Come on, folks! Challenge me! But, for now, I think it's time to put the Game Boy down. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And with all that being said, I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.